Do I even still need to do this? I mean, they added nothing in this expansion. Like, am I supposed to just review a stack of new guns and a copied boss? This game's just in a holding pattern until it has permission to die. Why do I still need to keep doing these?
Deal Jado sent in another super chat. They said, got to go. New Suicide Squad expansion dropped. Best of luck. Mentalgen.
Jado, you're the only person in the world that has ever said, hey guys, sorry can't be here. There's a brand new Suicide Squad expansion that I need to play. No, if you don't know, I'd recommend checking out their channel. They've been playing the game a lot. And trying to get into, not say it's good, but like show off, you know, what's wrong with the game and everything. It's been interesting.
Yeah, that's quite the feat to take on.
Yes, sir, Mr. Shane Rerez, sir. So yeah, episode 4 of Suicide Squad's expansions came out a month ago. You may not have noticed because its shadow dropped out of nowhere with absolutely zero advertisements or announcement. I only found out there was a new expansion because viewers messaged it to me. These expansions are so useless that Rocksteady's given up even telling people that they exist. So what did the new expansion add to the game? Basically nothing. There are no new enemy types, no new mission types, not even a new status ailment like the first 2 episodes had. They added some new gear, and that's it. On the surface, at least, but we'll get to that later. Alright, there's a new Brainiac to fight, and to unlock the new boss, you need to play about 2 hours worth of the new missions, which are just old missions on a slightly reskinned map. The best progress in gear come from the multiverse incursions, to where it's pretty much completely pointless to do anything else. The incursion missions are a survival mode, a fight with Green Lantern brutes, a fight with a bunch of Flash goons, a fight with a random spattering of empowered goons, and oh wait, what the hell? There's an incubator mission and 2 poison ivy missions after they were missing from the last expansions? Did they actually put back in all the missions they removed to try and sell it as new content? Holy shit, I found a gizmo vehicle! I haven't seen one of these since the game's launch state! Wow, somebody remembered the one fun part of the game! I better jump out of it though, let Miles have a turn. The vehicle's flying off and Miles can't catch it. Sorry dude, I tried. Can we just stop and appreciate that the bar for this game is so low that putting crap that used to be in the game back into it is both refreshing and the best that they could do? Cheese and rice. So, Miles, Schnick, and myself cracked away at the same old missions. Again, the combat felt more sluggish this time around somehow, like enemies were taking more hits than usual to die. But the servers are so unstable, that could be a game bug. This is not the first time we've had enemies refuse to die for no adequately explained reason. Miles had to switch out his gear because he unlocked a synergy that killed him for using takedowns. That's a thing that happened. Sometimes your own gear kills you. Read it! Freaking read it! This grenade kills you for carrying grenades! The most noteworthy thing to occur in these levels was the survival mode erected these massive walls to where I was sealed off from the rest of the map. I mean, it's interesting. Annoying as balls, but it's something new, I guess. You know what else is new? These game bugs! Behold! The sideways tank! The invisible tank! A deposing bonus freeze on the results screen! Now I'm holding 3 axes! And last but not least, the Fart Cloud Axe! Seriously, my axe model despawned and I was left swinging around a fart cloud at the enemies, and it stayed that way for a long time! How does that even happen? The funny part is that this time around, the bugs targeted different players than usual. I was the one who got stuck in the environment instead of Miles, and he was the one who got bugged weapons that emptied themselves, wouldn't pick up ammo, and wouldn't deal any damage. Like, I'm glad they know I'm not crazy, but we're 4 expansions in. How is this crap still happening? The entire time we played this expansion, we got unanimously shit gear all around. I don't think a single one of us got a single good piece of new equipment. Part of that's because these expansions still dole out garbage starter gear to serve as filler for no adequately explained reason, but another part is that, well, the game drops loot at random for 6 different characters. There are 6 different sets of melee weapons, and 6 different sets of mods, plus entire genres of weapons that characters can't use. My new main is Mrs. Freeze. The whole multiple hours that I played this new expansion, I didn't get a single master, infamous, or notorious melee weapon that would be anywhere near remotely useful. Almost all of the new Captain Cold guns that dropped, she couldn't equip. They added a ton of new, goofy, trickster-themed weapons for seemingly everyone except for Freeze. You play this looter-shooter that exists for you to get loot, and every time you grind another painfully dull mission for the 101st time, you have to roll the dice whether or not the equipment you get can even be used. Then roll the dice again whether the equipment has even halfway decent stats. And given the game's on a skeleton crew, it's entirely possible they didn't make new gear for your main in the first place. This game fundamentally does not understand its entire reason for being. And the most frustrating thing about all of this is we've gone backwards. Episode 3 of the expansions looked like the game was starting to make a rebound. We got gear that didn't suck to where we made entire new loadouts and a character that was actually fun to play. It looked like Rocksteady was starting to figure out why nobody likes this thing, and then the patch notes came and went, yeah, all that good stuff was a mistake. I'm not joking. The patch notes for episode 4 spell out that episode 3's survival mode was giving out progress too quickly, and they fixed it. They fixed the thing that was making the game better. So the decent progression and sped up loop drops that briefly made the game fun were a bug. It's Anthem's loot shower all over again. Time is a flat circle. The Brainiac fight is where it was really hammered home just how hosed this game is. The 5th Brainiac has a dialogue where he talks about using his mind and preying on the group's fears like it's setting up that he's going to imitate Batman. And then he just vanishes and you fight a horde of normal-ass henchmen. And after 4 or 5 waves, killing so ridiculously many enemies that you're certain there's no actual boss fight, you just fight Green Lantern again. No twists, no alterations. They just straight up copy Green Lantern. And why is that noteworthy? Because Rocksteady specifically announced that episode 4 would end with a fight against a Green Lantern Superman hybrid. This game is running so low on fumes that they had to scrap content and copy a boss just to have something to release on time. And once we finished the Brainiac fight to 0 cutscenes or dialogue, the game just disconnected Miles because it was just as sick of this crap as we were.
T-pose Harley. Okay, so we all got that. What just happened? Like it showed the victory screen and then it cut back to the loading screen.
I did not get that. Wow, I got 5 levels.
Server crash! I got a massive server crash.
On the bright side, I got promoted to squad leader because you got kicked out.
And
so is that going in the video?
There's
I think so.
2 dead shots now.
Yep, I think that. Yeah, that's
like
about it.
Seems like the most poignant ending we're gonna get with this thing.
Yeah.
To make sure that I was getting the full picture of the new expansion, I played past the Brainiac boss fight for a while on my own. As you play the missions, you unlock new mastery levels to keep juicing up the difficulty and unlock better rewards. So, I'll go farming for difficulties and loot drops. And then I stopped. Because the game broke. See, I tried a Poison Ivy level where you have to protect one of her plants from enemies, and I tried it on Mastery level 13. And if you think Mastery 13 sounds high, those patch notes said they rebalanced the Mastery levels to go over 500. But back on topic, playing the Ivy level on Mastery 13, It was laughably impossible to kill enemies quickly enough to save Ivy's plant. They spawn non-stop, they take way too much punishment, and your AI partners barely help you. Yeah, I'm starting to think they pulled out these Ivy incursions because they couldn't balance the damn things, and then they just put them back in, not realizing they hadn't been fixed yet. But whatever, maybe I'm just terrible at the Poison Ivy missions. Let's try another incursion. Let's do the mission where you just kill a bunch of enemies. That should be easy as pie. So I did the mission Ice Splice at Mastery Level 13, and for the very first time ever playing a mission in this game, I ran out of time! See, the incursion's time limit expired because the game kept spawning brutes that just would not fucking die! Luckily for me, it turns out that running out of time doesn't kill you. It just spawns a never-ending hellstorm of laser blasts 3 at a time to where the combat becomes a completely unimaginable cacophony of lights to where you can barely tell what the hell's going on! Yeah, try fighting 5 brutes at once while frickin' laser beams are being shoved up your ass every 2 seconds! Eventually, I beat that level, and I tried the mission where you fight Green Lantern brutes at Mastery Level 16. And again, I ran out of time because no matter how much I pounded on these guys, the shitheels refused to die. Am I going crazy here? I don't remember sucking this hard at the game. I failed 3 levels in a row at way lower difficulty than I usually play. What the hell am I doing wrong? To try and prove to myself that I'm not just going nuts, I went back to episode 3. I did episode 3's brute killing mission at Mastery Level 22, and I curb stomped all the enemies with time to spare. It wasn't my imagination. The exact same enemies, fought with the exact same loadout, on a higher difficulty, died way faster in episode 3 than in 4. You know what that means? They nerfed the piss out of your characters, and they hoped you wouldn't notice. Episode 4's enemies have at least triple the health that they had in previous expansions across the board. I don't know if this was an honest mistake in rebalancing the mastery levels, or if it's a deliberate underhanded strategy to drive grinding, but it doesn't matter. They made a game that's already on life support fundamentally worse, as if enemies dying too quickly was the one thing that was driving players away. I wonder if this has something to do with the fact that when we played the game on Labor Day weekend, Rocksteady was having a completely unannounced promotion where playing the game's 4 launch characters got you a damage buff and an XP boost. What was the end game there? Was that a tacit admission that the original 4 characters suck? Somebody please explain that! To prove my thesis that they buffed all the enemies, I went back to get careful side-by-side footage of combat from episodes 3 and 4. Here's me fighting a simple goon that spawns by the dozen. Here's me fighting a tank. And here's me fighting a brute. A Green Lantern brute to boot. Seriously, Rocksteady, eat shit. You took enemies that are already obnoxious pains in the ass to kill, and you gave them triple the friggin' health pool. Oh, and give them Green Lantern powers to where they keep turning invincible. Have a good time doing that. This one enemy is still not dead. Cheese and rice. And while I was on my mission gathering this footage, I encountered a brand new bug that friggin' defied all comprehension. The partner AI was disabled! No matter what I do, my AI partners outright refuse to move. Be it inside the overworld or during missions, they don't budge. And they especially don't move if you die and need to be revived and then fail the level!
Damn it all. Director Waller, Bizarro.
This can't be happening. Both in-game and out, things for Kill the Justice League just keep getting worse. Move! When we left off our coverage of the Episode 3 expansion, the news for Suicide Squad was bleak as it could be. Rocksteady had publicly confirmed that the game's support staff has been cut down to a skeleton crew, while the developer moved on to new single-player games. Games, plural. You'd think that would have been the game's death knell, but somehow things have still gotten worse. About a week after Episode 4 launched, Eurogamer reported that Rocksteady had to lay off a lot of their employees over the game's failure. Their QA department alone lost over half its people. And still, Warner Brothers admits in the Eurogamer article that work is continuing on the expansions regardless, even though, well...
Jado, you're the only person in the world that has ever said, hey guys, sorry can't be here. There's a brand new Suicide Squad expansion that I need to play.
This game is doing so badly that they had to fire shitloads of staff that they really couldn't afford to lose, and they're still working on it. Working on this game whose core player base is about 200 people. 500 if there's a new character. Somebody please make it make sense. You know, Sony released a new live service shooter game called Concord a little while ago that failed so catastrophically that it was shut down, delisted, recalled, and refunded after 2 weeks because it cost $400 million, took 8 years to make, had so much staff that the game's credits went over an hour long, and it released to a wet fart of nobody caring. And yeah, sure, Concord dying in 2 friggin' weeks is laughable, and existentially horrifying for all the staff involved, but Sony at least had some common sense. Sony knew not to keep wasting money on a game that was never going to rebound or turn a profit, so what the hell is Suicide Squad's excuse? There has to be a contract somewhere specifying that Suicide Squad is literally not allowed to die until the roadmap is complete. Maybe it's legal, like they have to finish the roadmap to get out of issuing refunds when the game kicks the bucket. Maybe it's in the voice actors' contracts that the story content they recorded in advance has to be released in an official capacity. Or hell, maybe Warner Brothers is mandating that they can't end the game until they finish de-screwing the Arkhamverse. You morons killed off all the heroes and we can't make sequels until you fix it! That is the only explanation for why Rocksteady keeps working on placeholder expansions for this albatross around the neck of their crumbling company. Let's be blunt here. This expansion was not tested. Entire levels blatantly do not work. It is obviously made entirely out of copy-pasted content. Rocksteady had to bail on announced content to get it out the door, and they made absolutely zero attempt to hide how phoned in the expansion was. They don't care anymore. They don't care that the game is trash. They don't care that nobody's playing. They don't care that everyone can see it falling apart in public. They don't even care that the game is literally killing them. This game is continuing no matter what, because it is a matter of personal pride and spite that this game refuses to die. That is my takeaway from this expansion. Rocksteady is in a holding pattern, doing the absolute bare minimum to push out all the content they announced, and it will keep falling apart, it will keep recycling content, and it will keep humiliating and siphoning the life out of Rocksteady. This isn't funny anymore, it's pathetic. Pathetic that a once great studio got locked into this death spiral for the long haul and nobody can stop it. Rocksteady, bros, I implore you, I am trying to help you here. Dump all the content you have finished at once. Claim all the Brainiacs fused into one, or hell, just have us fight all 8 of them at once, that could be cool. This torture ends when you say it ends. The game's only fate is oblivion. The least it can do is greet it with dignity.